there, partner. Hey, how you doing there, partner? Think, don't believe. 50. Think, don't believe. 50. Yeah, this is Think, Film, Believe, and this is the 50th video. Yeah! I mean, yeah, it's kind of cool, because I've been working, yep, I've been working. I've been working. But until I get going on stuff like this, and I think about, there's just so much to talk about with this subject because it's so intertwined into people's lives. Your thoughts and your feelings and beliefs, they're so intertwined in people's lives. They're so intertwined in people's lives. I mean, they really, really, really are. They're so intertwined in people's lives. I mean, your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are so intertwined into your life, you'd be surprised. The thoughts, feelings, and beliefs are so intertwined in your life, you'd be surprised. Think about your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs in the relationships that you've had. And I got to own up to this one. But, it was just another example. And again, we're driven by our emotions, right? And things are happening to us. And then those emotions are causing us to have thoughts, which are driving those emotions even deeper. But, even in the relationships, whether they're between, no matter who, between family, between whatever, between your boss, what are you speaking and what are you saying? And what are your thoughts about the relationship that you're in with another person? And just a point of wisdom here, the only way that you learn one of the only ways that you learn things in life is through relationships with other people. So you need to pay attention to that. And, I think I talked about a little bit in Wisdom Wizard, about relationships and everything, so we won't get into that here either. But your thoughts and your feelings and belief are impacting your relationships with other people too. I mean, you just keep maybe you just keep having this particular problem that just keeps coming up all the time. Well, what is your responsibility in the situation? What are you thinking and feeling and believing about the situation? And then it happens again, and then you're blown up and you're arguing again. Who's really responsible? Who's really responsible? Well, both, it always takes two to tango, huh? It always takes two to tango. You ain't got to, you always take two to tango, huh? So what are your thoughts, feelings, and beliefs about your relationships and what you're doing in your relationships? What are you speaking? What are you saying in your relationships with your boss, in relationships with your spouse, in relationships with your boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, right? What are you saying and feeling and believing in your relationships with your kids? What are the things that you're speaking with your kids? All those kids all the time, I'm telling you, man, there's a song out there, I can't remember who it is, and somebody will come up with it. Just go Google Crashing by Design because of the mirror of the thoughts that pass your mind. But the thing about it is the thoughts that are constantly being there every day. And these things are happening in your life, in your relationships, in the intertwines of all those things, no matter who it is or how it is out there. Because, yeah, I mean, I don't need to give into my example again because I already did one of my other videos with basically a thing that I manifested, and I did it. I did it with that person a couple of times and got the result that I was speaking, and exactly. So whatever you're thinking, feeling, believing, whatever you're speaking in your own relationships, you need to pay attention to that. And if you want those relationships to change, okay, no matter how hard you try, you need to change what you're thinking, feeling, and believing in your relationships too. I mean, and just like people maybe be talking, those kids, they always blah, 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 blah. These kids, they always blah, 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 blah. And then the kids are always blah, 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 right? I mean, you're just like you're getting what you're putting out there. Kind of like you're reaping what you're sowing, reaping what you're sowing, reaping what you're sowing, reaping what you're sowing. And then the goodness of what you speak. Yeah. I mean, I've always wondered because I have a little mantra thing that I always used to speak about. My kids are truly blessed. My children are truly blessed. They're blessed with great health. They're blessed with great abundance in their lives. They're blessed with great talent. My children are truly blessed. And I've spoken that. I've spoken that one for a long time. I had this little recording that I would listen to that, I recorded my voice. Kind of like one of those diddy-do recorders. You can find those you can probably find one, little reference to my website maybe because I'm going to have one. Yeah, you go check what the product section is. Yeah. And it's a great tool. And I would listen to that. I would go on walks and I'd listen. My children are truly blessed. They're blessed with great talent. They're blessed with great abundance in their life. They are blessed with good health. My children are truly blessed. And you know what? My children are. I mean, they are blessed. Like, wow. Like, I'm shocked, And there's definitely some other elements in there too that I always tell them how great they are and how wonderful they are and encourage them and build them up and do everything that I can. And, there's some wisdom wizard there about doing those kinds of things. But, it's what we're talking about. What we're talking about here is the things you're thinking, feeling, believing, and speaking in your relationships. What about the relationships with your spouse? I mean, boy, those are difficult, but what are you thinking, feeling, believing? What are you speaking into that relationship? What are you speaking into it? What you saying? What you speaking? What you saying? What you speaking? What you saying? And you're getting that result. This is like, my wife is such a wonderful, loving woman. She is fantastic. She is this, she is that. And you start speaking that. Start speaking that with an endearing feeling in your heart, with a good feeling, a good feeling. Even maybe she's not that right now. That's the whole thing. Got to have some patience. Because, quite honestly, the reality of the fact is that manifestation is going to happen irregardless. And you're like, maybe you have a desire to change how things are in the relationships with your whoever, right? And because you start seeing the negative stuff and oops, I've been saying this, oops. You've been saying this, you've been saying it, and then you catch yourself, like I did drive my little sports car. And I know, and I stopped saying that. And so you catch yourself in your life and you've got to stop saying things, right? You don't change direction. You got to stop talking a little bit different, right? Yeah, you got to change direction. You got to start speaking and talking about things differently. So you got to have faith. Got to have faith. If you really want to change a direction of something that's going on in your life, you got to take the steps to start doing it and be consistent and persistent with it. And this could be a great experience for a lot of people, that if you started speaking something good about what's going on in a relationship that you're having, and maybe things aren't so good, right? Maybe they're not so good. That's not your job to keep focusing on that. If you're going to change direction, you got to change direction, right? You got to change direction, so you got to start speaking that. Speaking it in private, speaking it whatever, with the greatest honesty of really, if it's a desire in your heart, you could have it. You just got to speak it and you got to change it. You got to take because you got to take responsibility for the negativity too, right? And so maybe if you were like, oops, I've been saying this, you're taking responsibility for that. Well, then take responsibility for changing the direction and going in a different direction too, and being consistent with the discipline on that. Well, how do you do that? Well, maybe you need to put it on a 3x5 card or something, Sorry. I know it's a distraction, a cough. Maybe you need to write it on a 3x5 card. But you've been you see how people do stuff on a subconscious, or not even maybe on a conscious, but subconscious way too. You're definitely easily manifesting the negative things, right? Or whatever it is, or some other stuff. It's easy to think about all those things. But when you kind of want to change directions with something else, it's a little bit more of a challenge. It's still the same discipline, right? Still the same discipline. The negative stuff's really easy, right? Because there's an emotion, and you just kind of keep pushing. That's really easy. The other thing's a little bit of a challenge, but it's still the same discipline. Discipline.